Welcome to Sense and Nonsense A to Z, where we pick topics based off of the letter of the day. Today is our premiere episode featuring the letter A.
We're family and we're your hosts, AT and Z. So let's get started. So to start us off, I'm going to say aloha.
Aloha.
So what's going on, Z?
We got snow.
Aw, do you like snow?
Well, it's not that I like it, but it's not a common occurrence here in the Raleigh, North Carolina area. So
Right.
when we get it, it's a minor miracle because we usually just get ice. And we've got decent snow. We got 3 inches. So it's a little bit of exciting. Yeah.
Did you shovel?
I have not touched it.
It's going to melt anyway. You know it's going to melt. So
Yeah.
why bother?
Yeah, I'm actually hoping that I don't get a package or anything, so nobody tramps down in my snow on my porch or my driveway, and it just melts itself. But yeah, that's what's going on. So
yeah,
it's exciting.
Hubby and the pup is down south, so this is her first snowstorm. She's having a lot of fun down there.
Oh, I bet. Dogs in snow are awesome.
Yeah,
yeah,
especially the first time, they just go crazy.
Yes, but the snow and the ice down here can be anxiety inducing.
Oh, I'll tell you what, it gives me agita.
Because the people on the road do not drive well in any kind of weather down here.
Well, that's because the people down there drive 70, 80 miles an hour, no matter what the weather is.
Well, because they're used to having good weather, but as soon as there's some kind of precipitation, either they turn into maniacs or they turn into nervous Nellies and drive way too slow.
Yeah.
So either way, it is anxiety inducing.
Well, I tend to go a little slower, me personally.
Well, you can go a little slower and that's fine, but you don't want to drive 35
20
miles an hour. Yeah,
20
on the highway. It's 70. Like you can drive slower, but if you start driving 35, you're a hazard now.
No doubt.
Yeah. And it's just another thing on top of the anxiety that we've all been experiencing because of the pandemic for the last 2 years.
A lot of anxiety.
Just total overwhelm. Every time you turn around, there's something new, or there's just that constant underlying state of anxiety. In fact, they're measuring it and it's climbed so much. And even for myself, I know that before COVID, I never considered myself to be an anxious person or a nervous person. That certainly didn't carry over from day to day in my life. I didn't feel like I was in this constant state of overwhelm. And now I am, and it seems that I'm not alone. And especially it seems to be affecting women and children more so than ever. There are so many things that are inundating us on a daily basis now. And some of that has to do with social media, but some of that just has to do with the climate that we currently live in. And I think that people have not, by and large, been given any kind of tools to work with anxiety or things that stress them out. I mean, just now we're starting to see more information on being mindful or meditation practices, or, the health benefits of yoga filtering into the mainstream in a way that it was all hocus pocus before, you're some kind of weirdo if you meditate or if you do yoga. And now it's like, no, we need these kinds of tools to be able to manage the crisis that we find ourselves in on a daily basis. So
what we should have been doing is working out. We had the time. We were shut down. Instead of binging on food and alcohol and any kind of other things, and actually watching TV is what we were all binging on. We should have been really concentrating on our health and maybe, watching what we were eating and doing some exercise. But, we're all just sitting on the couch, just hanging out, just waiting for the next bit of information on what's going on in the world.
Well, because we were so uncertain and everything was changing so quickly that if you weren't watching 24/7, you were missing stuff.
Yeah, no doubt.
You know, there was not a whole lot of downtime of not watching the news. Before the pandemic, I never watched the news. And
No.
then we were watching it constantly
Yeah.
because there was just so much fear around it. And also, like we said, the information was changing nearly daily, sometimes
Yeah.
more than daily.
Yeah.
There were so many press conferences to watch,
And we
and
were watching all of them,
we were
that's for
watching them
sure.
all,
Yep.
and there was so much fighting going on with what to do. And
Well, that's because we had no history other than the pandemic from 1917, 1918. That was the last time that we had something like this. So, and I'm sure they didn't keep very good notes. All we have is some documentation and some photos. But what's interesting is that the photos that we do have, everybody had masks on.
mhm,
Everybody had cloth masks on.
mhm,
And we definitely should have taken a lesson from at least those photos.
right. Yeah, I think the mark was missed there in the beginning with masking up and then changing their minds about it, after we got through a few months and the numbers started to look good. It was then time to unmask the world. And that was not the time to unmask the world. That was the time to keep everybody's mask on because we were seeing improvements in the numbers. And then as soon as that happened, back up everything went.
Sure. Well, and the new variant didn't help either. But I mean, in the beginning, if we all had masked up, just like the Asian people, they comply with masking rules. They all do.
Mhm.
If we just took a lesson from what they were doing, we would be
Mhm.
so far ahead of the game here.
I agree. I mean, I remember being in Las Vegas and seeing tourists with masks on. And
Yeah.
I'm like, what the heck are they doing? They were right. They were right to be doing that. They're in a foreign country with
Yeah.
foreign germs and they're protecting themselves. That was the right thing to do.
Yeah, absolutely.
As soon as
Yep.
they get a sniffle or have anything going on or ride public transportation, they've got masks on. I mean, that's just sense, really. But we
Yeah.
weren't raised that way. So
Oh, I
we
know
were
that.
unprepared. We were
Well,
completely unprepared.
well, sure. Sure. And well, we we weren't raised to wear seatbelts either, but we we learned.
Yeah, well, we learned after they passed the law saying we had to,
No, no
and
doubt.
people were getting tickets. I mean, there was lots of grumbling back in the day when that was coming about.
Well, it's the same thing with the masks
It's the
now,
same thing in the math. As a matter
Yeah.
of fact, it was the same thing with smoking. When they started to outlaw smoking in restaurants and in public places,
In
people were
offices. Yeah.
incensed about that, and now you don't think twice about smoking in a restaurant. People would never think
Never
about
do.
doing that anymore,
Yeah. Yeah,
but it
exactly.
takes having law, it has to be mandated. The
I
law has
agree.
to pass, and then enough time has to go by where it just becomes normal.
Yeah.
Anytime anything is first introduced, any kind of change, people gripe and grumble and their civil
Well,
liberties are being infringed upon.
exactly. Exactly. All I have to say to people with the problems with the masks is if you're going in for surgery and your doctor decides that he doesn't want to wear a mask, and the nurse decides, well, you know what, I'm not going to wear a mask, and nor the anesthesiologist. How would
Mhm.
you feel getting that surgery when nobody's wearing a mask? So, I mean, come on, we're all trying to help out each other. Just
Yeah,
like with the vaccine, it's a group effort, it's a team effort. You have to take one for the team. Do we like wearing masks?
no,
Hell no.
no,
I
not at all.
I hate it.
Mhm.
I hate my nose running into my mask all the time. And it's
Or the
like,
hot breath on your face. I
oh,
can't stand that. Ugh,
it's terrible. It's terrible.
gross.
How about I was having dreams that I would forget my mask.
Mhm.
I mean,
Mhm.
that's how talk about anxious,
Yeah.
talk about anxiety. I was
Yeah.
having dreams that, oh my God, I forgot my mask. What do I do? You know,
Yep.
and this is like, oh my God, this is a dream. And I'm dreaming about this stuff.
Yeah.
You know, so I keep a mask in my pocketbook, in the car,
Oh yeah.
every place,
They're
every
everywhere.
place. I
They're
have,
everywhere.
yeah, yeah,
And these should be everywhere. I mean, when I go to a grocery store right now and I see some person that doesn't have a mask on their face, I'm just like, are you kidding? Especially since it is mandated in my town.
yeah.
Like, what are
It
you
is here too.
doing?
It
Do
is here
you
too.
really think that you are so special that you don't have to participate in society?
Yeah, yeah. As a matter
You
of
know?
fact, you know, I went for my third shot the other day.
Yes.
There was a girl before us that was going for her shot, and I'm going to guess it was her first one. They said to her, "Where's your mask?" They actually had to give her a mask in order for
Unbelievable.
her to, yeah, in order for her to get the vaccine.
I
Yep,
mean, come on,
I know, I know.
you have to get outside of yourself sometimes. It's not just about you. You have to realize that you live in a society, you live in a planet that has 8 billion people on it, and sometimes you got to do what's best for all of us. You know,
Absolutely.
I don't like it. My 11-year-old son with autism definitely does not like wearing a mask. But you know what? He's got to, not only to
Yeah,
protect him, but other people, because he's not the best at covering his face when he sneezes or coughs or whatever. And it's unfair for everybody else to have to pay because he's uncomfortable with it. You got to
yeah.
get comfortable with it. You got to do it anyway, because that's what you do when you live in a society.
Well, and no doubt about getting him the vaccine. I mean, it was a tough decision for us to get it. We
Absolutely. Agonized,
we
agonized.
we waited and weighed our options. Do we get this kind? Do we get that kind? Then there was issues with the J&J, so we
Scared
ditched
me.
that
Yeah,
idea.
yeah, scared me.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, talk
It's
about anxiety. I
yeah,
mean, it's just,
very,
yeah.
very anxious about the whole thing. I mean, shaking nervous getting my son vaccinated. I mean,
Mhm.
internal panic the whole time, sweating. I mean, the whole
Were
business.
you really when he was
Yeah.
getting vaccinated?
Yeah. I mean, really upset because he's not always done well with vaccines in the past. And it was
Right.
very, very anxiety inducing. I was very nervous about it. And I mean, I waited as long as I possibly could, but he needs to go back to school. And to do that, he needs to be as protected as possible. So he had to get the vaccine. And I mean, if I could have cried about it, I probably would have, but it wouldn't have helped. So I didn't.
No, it wouldn't
But
have helped him, that's for sure.
yeah, but it's not as if people who get the vaccine and mask up are doing so because it's the joy of our lives. It's
Of course
not,
not.
you know?
We don't like it. We hate it.
Yeah, we do hate
I
it.
didn't want to I didn't want to get the vaccine, but
Me
we took
either.
one for the
Me
team, like I
neither.
said.
Yeah.
You
It,
know, the
it's
same thing with masking. You take one for the team.
you have to, because this is not going away, and we're seeing the result of people not getting on board and not participating. The numbers just go up and up and up. And I'm sorry, but I don't want to spend the rest of my life in fear of either a vaccine or of getting a severe illness and winding up in the hospital simply because somebody sneezed on me
Yeah. Yeah.
and couldn't be bothered to cover their freaking face. You know?
Well, on that note, I'm going to ask you, what are your thoughts about Aaron Rodgers with what was going on with him?
Disappointed. I'm so
Yeah.
disappointed.
Yeah, me too. Me too. I mean, we had talked about him maybe doing Jeopardy
Yes.
and how well he was doing. He was a little stiff doing
Yeah,
Jeopardy,
he was.
but I
But
thought he
not
did
bad.
it. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, it's not. I'm not a Jeopardy watcher. I go through the channels and I catch up on something. But I did see him, and I was rooting for him.
I know. I didn't mind him. I thought I was surprised that he did as good a job as he did. I
Yeah.
wasn't aware that he was a Jeopardy fan. And
Mhm.
then beyond that, I've never heard him speak really outside of a press conference. So I didn't know how he
Right.
was going to pull that off. But
Right.
I thought he did a decent job.
I always had a lot of respect for him. I mean, when he took over, when Brett Favre left, and it's one of those things that, no, don't get me wrong, I'm not a Packer fan, I'm a Jet fan. And when the Packers play the Jets, no, I'm a Jet fan. But when the Packers play somebody else, you know what? I tend to root for them because of Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers, and even going back to the previous quarterbacks. I've always liked the Green Bay quarterbacks. So anyway, I rooted for him there. I rooted for him with his relationship with Danica Patrick. I thought that was going to be a really good relationship. And now with him, with this vaccination that I've been immunized. It's like, really? If you watch the video, you'll see the reporter said, "Are you vaccinated? And what's your stance on vaccinations?" And his response is, "Yeah, I've been immunized." But if you look really close, his head is down. You can barely see his eyes under his brim of his hat. And his eyes are going like back and forth, like a shifty answer.
Oh man.
I'm like, come on. The Packers had to pay a fine based on the COVID violations. They ended up paying $300,000. And guess how much Aaron Rodgers had to pay for his fine? Well, it had nothing to do with him lying. It had to do with him not wearing masks during press conferences. And he was also seen at
Is he allergic to masks?
You heard about that, right?
Yeah.
You heard about that? Yeah, he's allergic to the vaccine, supposedly. Like he knows what's in the vaccine that's making him allergic. How do you know that you're allergic to a vaccine?
Well, the only thing that they do tell you is that if you have had a bad reaction to like a flu shot in the past, to not get this. But he didn't say that was the case.
Well, the problem was that, you're right, he didn't. But the problem was that you have to then mask up, own up to it. Own up to it. I think everyone would have been fine if he just said, "No, I have not. I have an issue. My doctor's aware of this," that sort of thing. But no, he lied.
He was immunized.
He was immunized. I've been immunized. So the Jeopardy question is, what is a vaccine?
What is a vaccine? Yeah.
I mean, really.
That's the only way that you get immunized with COVID right now.
Yeah. And, you still see them on the State Farm commercials. For some reason, the State Farm kind of lifted those commercials for a while, I noticed. And now lately,
they're back again.
They're back again with the Aaron Rodgers State Farm. I almost want to cancel my policy.
I did cancel my policy with State Farm, but not because of
recently. Not recently. That was previously. You got would you get a better price? Yeah, you probably did, right?
Well, I had I don't know if
another
I had another one, and I just bundled it instead.
Oh, well, that's
I did the bundle.
Yeah. You always save with the bundle.
Yeah. The home and auto bundle extrava save-a-thon.
Exactly. Say it with me.
Yeah, exactly. Nobody's leaving until we say it.
You do watch commercials.
No, I don't, as a matter of course, but that one is constant on Hulu.
Yeah.
And when I'm watching Hulu, that one, every show that
it's also on the stick. It's on the stick all the time too. Yeah.
But speaking of the pandemic and alcohol, you had brought that up. I had noticed that I'm not a drinker, and I've never been a drinker. I usually just when I go to parties or social settings, I have one or two. But I was drinking like margaritas like every day of the pandemic when it first started. I would say probably through March, April, May, and June, I was drinking like every day.
Margaritas, huh?
Having a margarita. And just to kind of self-soothe and get through what was happening, the mayhem that was happening. And then in
Were we getting the mixes
yeah, it was
and doing the blender thing
well,
or
no, no,
what?
no. Like Cayman Jack, and the
Yeah,
little
yeah, yeah.
bottles and stuff. Yeah, it
And
was
just putting it on ice.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, blending it up and doing that. And it was, I mean, it was delicious, but it
Well, of
was out of
course.
control especially for me, because I'm not a drinker. And I was like, wow, this is driving me to drink this thing, it really was. And so I had to cut that out. But sales of alcohol grew by 55% in 2020. That's an
Absolutely.
astounding number.
Yeah. Yeah. And like I said, instead of us working out,
Yeah.
we were drinking.
We were
I
drinking.
wasn't drinking personally. I was just eating.
I was doing both.
Yeah, well, yeah, I'm sure plenty of
Yeah.
people were.
I mean, the amount of chips and cookies that I ate in 2020, I can't. I'm still paying for.
Do you remember the first time you had to go to the grocery store during the pandemic?
Oh my God, yes.
I was a nervous wreck.
I was never. I would go as soon as they opened.
I did too.
I was in there as soon as they opened, and it
Yep.
was like I had a hoodie on, and it was like scrunched down, and I had a hat on underneath, and I had a bandana covering my face.
I did too.
And I had gloves on.
I did too. Well,
Yeah.
I had, I wore my yellow daisy
Your
gloves, my marigolds.
marigolds.
Exactly.
I didn't have those.
That's
on.
all I
like-
had. I didn't have any surgical gloves. I
I
didn't have
had
anything like
nitrile
that.
gloves. I had those,
Oh, please,
and
I
I
didn't
had
have
those
anything like
on.
that.
and yeah, you go to the store.
You made do with what you had.
You
yeah.
wiped the thing down with the Lysol wipe.
And alcohol. That's
And
where
alcohol.
that was my alcohol story.
Yeah. And you buzzed through as fast as possible.
Don't talk to anybody.
I know.
Stay away from everybody.
Nothing.
Keep your card away from me.
Yeah. Stay 6 feet away from me.
Stay 6
Follow
feet.
the arrow on the floor.
Exactly. And if you're going the other way, guess what? I'm giving you a dirty look.
Absolutely. You deserve
I'm
that
telling
dirty
you,
look.
you're going the wrong way.
You can't miss the bright yellow tape that is on the floor,
Exactly.
especially since you've been probably shopping in the store and you never saw that before.
That's right.
And now it's there. So just go the right way. I
Yeah.
mean, come on.
Yeah.
This is not that difficult. And then get out of the store. I would throw my gloves away before I even got to my vehicle. I would
Oh,
load my groceries.
So it was a one-shot deal with your gloves?
Yeah.
Oh,
they were
no
one
kidding.
shot.
Well, not with
Then
my yellow ones.
Then I would load my vehicle. Then I would open my car door, and then I would start sanitizing so that I
Oh.
didn't touch my steering wheel or anything with my hands.
And that's what I did with alcohol. I mean, I literally would take a bath with alcohol, and even I would gargle too. It's
Yeah.
it's like whoever was watching was probably thinking I was a crazy person. I would wipe down my sneakers. I would wipe down everything.
I know. I never
And then you
wiped
got
down
home
my
and wiped down the
sneakers.
groceries.
Yes, that. And anything that came to the house, any packages or anything, the mail.
I would leave them in the garage too
Yeah.
and try to sanitize them as best as I
Yeah,
can,
was
like a letter.
Lysoling them. Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
everything. I know.
yeah,
It was
definitely.
mayhem. It was mayhem.
And of
And-
course, you couldn't have gotten the wipes. The wipes were just
No,
impossible to find.
No, they were. And we were making our own, remember?
Right.
And
With the baby wipes and then putting alcohol in it.
Yes.
And that
this
was
went on for a
my
long time.
anxiety because I couldn't find the alcohol. I mean, I was willing to settle for 50%. Give me some sort of alcohol. But yeah.
I know. It was just mayhem. And for a long time, that prevailed for a long time. And I remember actually being able to palpably feel the anxiety go down when we realized that it didn't settle on things. Like we couldn't get COVID from
Well,
packages and
Right.
from
Well,
just
and that was some of the information that we finally got.
Yeah.
I wish we knew
Yeah.
originally, like they did know that it was an aerosol situation.
Exactly, but they didn't tell us that.
Nobody told us. No, it took a while for them to tell us
It
that.
did. And
Yeah.
it was really hurtful to find out that they knew that right from the get-go.
Oh,
And
yeah.
they let us kind of panic like that for a while, for months, actually. It was like, yeah, thanks a lot. Thanks. And then you wonder why people have trust issues.
Yeah, exactly.
You wonder why
Exactly.
people don't take everything you say as gospel because you're fudging the facts for a
Yeah.
while. And we know that now for real.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was definitely not cool.
No.
I have an annoying thing with Alexa, and I know you do too. So you tell your Alexa story first.
It's a love-hate relationship with Alexa, isn't it?
It is.
It's like big sister is listening all the
Oh
time.
man. It's
Yeah.
true.
Well, what's happened to me, and I'm sure it happens to everybody one time or another, is that, in my case, I was trying to be very quiet after hubby went to bed, and I was binge watching Schitt's Creek.
Great show.
Great show. And so I would watch like a couple episodes at a clip. And one episode, Moira happens to say, Alexis, real loud. And
Oh, no.
my Alexa is not that far away. So of course she, bung, would you please repeat that, or whatever she says?
Yeah.
I didn't understand what you said.
Uh-huh.
I'm trying to locate that. It's like, no, stop, Alexa, stop, Alexa, off. And she went, and she kept on going. So I just jumped up and I ripped the cord out, and I just, took the power cord right out of her.
This is the problem with the open floor plan.
No
It
doubt.
just echoes through everything.
No doubt. No doubt. And come to think of it, he didn't wake up, by the way.
Oh, of course not. But you
He did not wake up, but
yeah.
of course I panicked.
All right. Well, my problem with Alexa is that sometimes there is no discernible reason for her being triggered. And that scares me.
Well, she's always listening.
I know, she's always listening. And like, there's a lot that goes on in my house. Like, I have a child with autism. So sometimes he'll just start, being loud or making noise or whatever.
Right.
And it's like, I don't trigger the Alexa, because then they're going to be hearing some really weird stuff over there. I don't know if it gets monitored at all, but it is a concern.
Well, I think we all tend to say, if you're listening,
Yeah.
if someone's listening, I really kind of didn't mean that.
If you just overheard me, this is really out of context. You don't realize what has gone on before you started
Yeah,
listening.
if you heard that account number, please erase that.
I'm sorry, I can't give you my credit card number over the phone because
Oh,
Alexa might be listening.
Is listening. Hold on, let me turn off Alexa and I'll give you my credit card number. Yeah.
But she already has my credit card number. That's the most scary thing of it all.
Oh, yeah.
She's got it.
And with that, let me tell you about something that happened to Jimmy Kimmel.
Okay.
One of his monologues discussed about him having a fight with his kids making pancakes, that they wanted pancakes for breakfast. He found this blob box of pancakes and he started making them. They hated it, yada, yada, yada.
Okay.
At the end of the monologue, for some strange reason, he said, Alexa, I'm gonna make a pause there because I don't want anybody else's to go off. He said that the word, the woman's name, order Bisquick. So his viewers, I guess, who had that programmed that they can just give it a command and Alexa would make an order. In a couple of days, they got an order of Bisquick.
Oh man.
So he had to come on after a couple of days and apologize and just say, look, I'm not going to say her name anymore. I'm just going to spell it. Because everybody talks about Alexa. And we have all these late night hosts and SNL doing these skits about, because it's a funny skit.
Of course
when you
it
think
is.
about it.
Yeah.
When you think about it.
You
But
never know what's going to show up.
Yeah. But I mean, people were just screaming at him and on Twitter and say, what is wrong with you? Stop saying her name. This one guy got the gluten-free kind, and he was like, I didn't even get a decent kind of biscuit. I got the gluten-free kind. And he attached a picture to his tweet.
Oh
So
my
it was,
goodness.
so you just got to watch. Hey, either that or change your name to Echo. That might not be a bad idea too. That is an option, right?
Yeah, I don't know if there are a lot of things that would trigger around Echo though. Probably
Yeah,
not.
that's what I'm saying. So that might not be a bad idea.
No.
Switch it to Echo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Call up Amazon because you got their number on speed dial, don't you?
Yeah. I do now. I do now.
Well, what are some other aggravation annoyances that we have that coincide with the letter A?
Well, the thing that I wanted to bring up is the word anniversary.
Okay.
To me, the word anniversary is a celebration. It's a happy word. It's like happy anniversary.
Yes.
Yes. It's
A joyous thing.
It's a joyous thing. It's a
Mhm.
wedding anniversary. It's the
Mhm.
anniversary of this or the anniversary of that. Instead, what I keep on hearing, and I've been hearing this, of course, of late, because we just had Pearl Harbor anniversary in December, and we
Mhm.
had January 6th, the year anniversary of January 6th. It's like,
Yeah.
seriously? It seems like the anniversary has been attached to death and to mayhem rather than to happiness. I just wish that they would just find a crappy word,
They're not going to find a crappy word.
just make it up.
Well,
Make up a crappy word to go with a celebratory date of something terrible.
well, they do have commemoration that is used
And
sometimes.
and I have no problem with that. I mean, I'm sure some people don't know how to spell it, but that's besides the point. But
You could say
you gotta,
commemorates then.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, but you got to get off of anniversary.
No, I
Really,
understand that.
the anniversary of Pearl Harbor, the anniversary of JFK dying. I
Yeah.
mean, come on.
Well, because too, anniversary is like an achievement. Like you've
think so,
made
yeah.
it, you've stuck it out, or
You suck it out.
or you've stayed alive, like the Queen's Jubilee
Yeah,
usually for
yeah.
her. But it's like it's
I
an
like that word,
achievement.
Jubilee. I
It
like
is.
that,
It's fun.
Jubilee.
That
Yeah.
is really celebratory. But it's something that you should be proud of, an anniversary,
Right.
versus just using that as
Just
saying,
a
oh,
word.
another year has rolled by,
So
and
it's
this
an
happened on this
anniversary.
day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that means it's anniversary. It's like, yeah, no.
Yeah,
Please,
I
please don't
understand.
use that word. Let's keep
understand.
that for wedding anniversaries and good stuff.
Okay. Mine is apathy. Apathy is the lack of interest, enthusiasm, or concern.
Right. I mean, so you're talking about the attitude of
Yes.
apathy. Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Or the practice of apathy. I don't know.
Okay.
But particularly as it pertains to one's job.
Okay.
Like, it's no one else's fault that you have the job that you do. So please don't act resentful when you are asked to do your job, and do it with a certain amount of interest, enthusiasm, and concern. And I say this as a person who has worked with people who are apathetic toward their job, and that's really annoying as a coworker. But moreover, it is very annoying as a consumer to have to deal with somebody who could not be less interested in doing their job.
Well, when you're a consumer, you want empathy. You don't want apathy.
Exactly so. Yes. So that is my pet peeve.
Did you have something recently that triggered that?
Well, one of the things that bugs me all the time, and this is about the grocery store, is that in my grocery store here, the people that work the deli counter move as if it is.
Wait a minute. Should I cut my own meat? Is that what you're saying? Just give me the meat. Just give me the machine and I'll slice it myself.
Right. Like They act as if you
So
are
serve.
inconveniencing them by wanting something from the deli. And
Just give
and
me self-serve then, and
yeah,
I'll take care of that.
and God forbid you don't want it sliced a quarter of an inch thick, like
Because that's the easiest way to do it
I
too.
don't want my meat so that I need to put a knife and fork and cut it on my sandwich.
I
Like,
want to see through it.
exactly. And I don't want it all in a big bunch either. I
Yeah,
want it
I don't either. I
flat,
want it flat. I know. I hate
and
when they do
these
that. They clump it. They clump up
I
like the
hate
ham.
that.
I hate
Why,
that.
why
I
do
have
I
no
want
idea.
that like that?
I have
Nobody
no
wants
idea.
it. And it's a nightmare to try and put apart, and you wind up in chunks anyway.
It's like
And
you have to untangle it.
you do.
Yeah.
And not for nothing, but meat is friggin' expensive.
It is.
Like half a pound costs you like $8-9. So excuse me if I would
Excuse me.
if I would just like it to be nice on my sandwich. I'm so sorry. So yeah,
Everything has gone up too.
yeah. So that's where that comes from. Yes, there was actually a reason for that.
And that is the reason. Speaking of the grocery store, there's something that I wanted to bring up because of the letter A. When we first started talking about the letter A, what came to my mind is apple.
Okay. Like
Love it.
like the fruit.
Like the fruit, absolutely, the fruit
Okay.
apple. Yeah. So I am going to give you a couple of questions. So are you ready for this?
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So, fun facts. Fun
Okay.
facts.
Okay.
Okay. So we're going to play sense or nonsense.
Okay.
All right. So my first sense or nonsense question is, an apple a day keeps the doctor away. Is that sense or nonsense?
Sense.
Well, yeah, it has to be, right? Because of all the health benefits
Yeah.
with an apple.
Yeah.
It's got fiber, it's got antioxidants, and
Yeah.
we all know how all that good stuff helps us out.
And it's got deliciousness.
It is delicious. Okay, I've got another sense or nonsense.
Okay.
Ready?
Yes.
There are over 5,000 varieties of apples around the world. Sense or nonsense?
5,000. Oh
Yeah,
my.
Got to think about this though.
I'm gonna say since the beginning of the world, yes. Sense.
You would be correct. There are, ding, 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 ding. There are actually over 7,500 different varieties.
What?
Yeah, of which 2,500 of them are in the United States.
Wow.
And
Currently being cultivated, 2,500 variety of apple.
I think in forever.
Okay.
Forever.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't see anything that said how many were cultivated currently.
Okay.
The thing that I did find is that 1 out of 4 apples go overseas.
Really?
So we export 25% of our apples. And did you know that apples are mainly picked by humans, not by machines?
That's fantastic.
Still to this day.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. And another factoid is that the only apple tree that's indigenous to the United States is the crabapple tree.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Those are disgusting. They're not good to eat. They're pretty, but they're disgusting.
I know. The tree is very pretty. I have one last sense or nonsense question. You ready?
Yeah.
Apples consist of 25% water. Sense or nonsense?
25% water.
Water.
Nonsense.
Actually, where I was going with this was that 25% is air in apples.
No kidding.
Air. And that's why they float. Think about it.
Oh, yes. Bobbing for apples.
Bobbing for apples. Exactly. You don't bob for peaches. You bob for apples because they float. And that's why it's 25%. Isn't that incredible?
How about that?
I was very surprised to see that.
Wow.
Yep. And apples. One last thing. Apple is part of the rose family.
No kidding.
Yep.
I think I've said no kidding a lot. I'm very stunned by all these facts.
They're fun facts. Fun
They
facts.
are. They are fun facts.
Fun facts.
I know a fun fact from Neil deGrasse Tyson about apples. Do you wanna hear
Okay.
it?
Well, sure.
It is that the flower, before it becomes a fruit, the number of petals that are on the flower when it
Okay.
turns into a fruit, when it becomes an apple, the number of petals coincides with the number of seeds inside the apple.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
How many petals in
I
do
think
they
it's
vary?
5. I think it's usually
Yeah,
5. Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
Okay, so typically one
Yeah.
flower produces 5 seeds.
Yeah.
That's neat.
It's pretty neat.
That is pretty neat. Did I ever
Having-
tell you my favorite fruit is a cherry?
Okay.
Did I ever tell you I tried to take a cherry pit and bunch of cherry pits and tried
Make a tree?
to make it didn't work.
Didn't work?
Did not
Well,
work.
I also know that it takes like 5 years or something before an apple tree starts to actually produce
So
fruit.
That's
Yeah.
true.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
takes a long time.
Yeah, exactly.
So we
Exactly.
should be thankful. And we are very thankful for apples in this household because my little guy has an apple a day, actually. He
I mean-
loves apples.
And you got to know that whenever you have an apple variety, it's named. So, I
Right.
mean, who comes up with all these
Oh, man.
names? No less 7,500
100 of
names.
them.
Can you imagine?
No,
They had to some of them had to have like stupid names.
Oh,
because
absolutely absurd, I'm sure.
I
Well,
can name
there's an apple called Pink Lady. I mean, come on.
it's because they're very pink and they're very pretty. We get them. We get pink ladies all the
Yeah,
time.
we do too.
You do.
Actually, little guy's favorite is Gala, though. So we mainly concentrate on Gala apples.
Yeah, yeah. My favorite is the Honey Crisp, but we get
like
we
Honey
get a
Crisp.
lot
They're
of
too sweet
jazz
for him.
too. We get a lot of jazz, and of course we get the
We get
Macintosh, Granny
Fuji.
Smith,
We
and
have Fuji.
you get Fuji a lot. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, but speaking of Apple products, talking about Apple company products like iPads and iPhones.
Oh, you
and
thought that's where I was
iPods.
going? Huh?
I did. I did. Because
No, no, I was talking fruit.
I have a bone to pick with them because first of all, you're so expensive. But second of all, you don't play well with others. But third of all, how dare you have changed your cord? After all that time, you
Yeah.
changed your cord.
Yeah, I hate when they do stuff like that.
I had an alarm clock that had a port for my little mini iPod thing with all my songs on it, and it was perfect and it worked. And then you changed the bottom. It's so aggravating.
Yeah, yeah, they tend to do that. I'm sure there's a reason for it, and I'm sure it has to do with numbers.
Let me tell you something. I have a cord for my Android phone, and
Yeah.
that cord, I can charge a laptop on it. I can charge a Chromebook on it. I can charge
Yeah.
my Ring doorbell
Tablets.
with it. I
Yeah.
can charge my Kindles with it. I mean, it works.
It's a
across-
wonderful thing.
It's a wonderful thing.
Yeah, when it's
The-
universal. Yeah,
The iPod thing, that's it.
yeah,
That's it.
I know. I know. Hey, I get it. I'm an IBMer, so
I
yeah,
understand.
and
I
it doesn't
understand.
play well.
No,
It doesn't play well with us now.
no.
Exactly.
So AT,
Yes.
you have a birthday coming up.
Oh, you got to remind me of that.
I'm sorry. It's better than the alternative of not
Oh,
having a
that's true.
birthday coming
That's
up.
true. So is it the anniversary of my birth?
It is the anniversary of your birth, and
There you
it's something
go.
to celebrate.
I know. I appreciate it. Thank you. But with that, I wanted to make a mention of one of my favorite singers. He and I share a birthday. We share a bunch of things.
Oh,
He
yeah?
and I. Oh yeah,
All
a bunch of
right.
things. So we share a birthday, of which I'll just tell you who it is right off the bat. It's the godfather of shock rock. It's Alice Cooper.
Nice.
Yeah, he and I share a birthday, February 4th. And like I said, we share a couple of things.
Wait a minute. Did you know that I have this big book of birthdays,
Okay.
and in it, February 4th is the
Right.
day of the curveballer. And I know you love baseball.
I do.
So
I do. I used to
I
hit a
thought that was
curveball
interesting.
very well too.
I thought that was interesting. The day
Yeah,
of the
yeah,
curveballer.
absolutely. Well, I
Oh, you
share a
know,
birthday
wait,
with,
wait,
go ahead.
wait. You know who else you share a birthday with? I saw
Go ahead. I do. I do.
LT.
Yes, Lawrence Taylor. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And Dan Quayle,
Oh, well, who wants to mention that?
Oscar De La Hoya. Are you ready for
Oh,
this one?
what's that?
Rosa Parks too.
Yes, I saw that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Isn't that funny?
Well,
So
I mean,
anyway,
think about it. There are 8 billion people on the planet. There are only
no, of course I'm
366
gonna.
days.
Yeah, yeah. There's some of us who are famous that are. Yeah, I know, I know. So a couple of the things that I share in common with uh, my friend Alice Cooper
Uh-huh.
is that, and by the way, his real name is Vincent Fournier.
No
So
kidding.
yeah. So I've often wondered, does anybody other than people in his band, oh geez, I wonder if people in his band what they call him too. Do they call him Vincent or Vince?
Yeah,
I'm sure
probably
his
call him
family
Vince.
calls him Vince or Vince,
Yeah, yeah,
you know. But
yeah.
yeah, can you imagine?
No. Maybe we call him Al.
You think?
Maybe.
You
I don't
think?
know. Next time I see him, I'll ask him.
Yeah, there you go. Thank you. So a couple of things we have in common, other than the birthday, is that the longevity of marriage. He's been married for 45 years now,
Wow.
which is awesome.
That's impressive,
It really is.
especially as a rock star.
Yeah, no doubt. I'm a few years behind him, so I'm at 42. Um, he and I are both avid golfers. He golfs like almost every day. That I don't do.
Yeah.
I did it one time though. I really did. I love golf. But
I don't like golf. I like driving. That I like
oh,
that.
you mean
I don't
going
like,
to the yeah.
yeah, go in the
Oh,
driving range, hitting
oh,
balls.
absolutely. I like that
That I
too.
love, but
I
actually
do too.
playing the game, forget it.
Yeah. Yeah,
No.
really. Mm.
Yeah.
And the other thing that he and I have in common is we use the same eyeliner. Did you know that? You know, the color black. The color black.
You and half the world
Yeah,
have
well,
that in
that's for
common with
sure.
Alice Cooper.
That's for sure. You know, he still does the Nights with Alice Cooper.
Really?
Yeah, the radio DJ portion of a radio station. Yeah, he still
Hmm.
does that to this day. It's funny. I read someplace, I think it was like in Rolling Stone or something. He's 6 years younger than Mick Jagger. And he had said that when Mick Jagger retires, I know in 6 years I'll retire.
Well, that's a hell of a benchmark to set your
Yeah,
watch by.
yeah,
I
you
mean,
ain't kidding. You ain't kidding.
geez.
Yeah. And let's see, the last time I was trying to remember the last time I had seen him, saw him back in 2005 with Cheap Trick at the PNC Art
Mhm,
Center. Remember, it
mhm.
used to be the Garden State Art Center in Homedale.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where I'd seen him. So that's a long time. But he's actually playing in North Carolina on February 4th. That blew my mind. I was like, oh my God, I could actually go see him on my birthday. Well, wait a second. It's still the pandemic.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not gonna do that, but
Yeah.
and it's a little far. It's on the other side of Charlotte, so I'm not gonna do that.
Yeah.
But that would have been an opportunity.
That
Can
would
you
have
imagine?
been,
On my birthday and his
yeah.
birthday to see him. That would have been awesome.
You know, it would have been special.
What's that? Oh, it would have been special.
Yeah.
I thought you said, you know what would have been special? You know what would have been special if I got to meet him? That would have been special.
Well, maybe you can still do that.
Oh,
You
my
have a Twitter
birthday.
account.
It's my
Twitter
birthday.
him.
It's my
Excuse me,
birthday.
Mr. Cooper.
Mr. Cooper, it's my birthday and your
My
birthday.
birthday too. Can we Zoom? Hey, maybe you can Zoom with him. That'd be cool.
Well, we had talked about that. We're going to talk about our favorites. So
Yeah.
that's going to be my musical favorite, you know, favorite band, favorite singer.
Yeah.
I'm sure you got one, right?
I do have one, and it is an actual favorite that just happens to start with the letter A, and that is
Okay.
Aerosmith.
Oh, I've a lot of respect for Aerosmith.
I love Aerosmith.
Oh, I
And-
do too.
And the record that I grew up on was Permanent Vacation.
Mm-hmm.
and Dude Looks Like a Lady, Ragdoll, Love in an Elevator, that whole record.
Well, for me, it was Toys in the Attic.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well, I
yeah,
mean, that's a brilliant record.
yeah.
I mean, I love Sweet Emotion, Dream On, Walk
Oh,
This Way, all that, but Permanent Vacation was, the MTV
it was
years.
the MTV. They did a
Yeah.
lot of good videos with
Oh
that.
man. And Steven Tyler was like one of my idols back then. He was so cool, from the scarves to the way he worked the stage. He was like fearless and badass. And
Did
I
you ever
just
see
loved
him on Two and a Half Men?
Yeah. Yeah. Fighting with
Did the one
Charlie
up?
Sheen's character.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. They were both musicians.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, what got me that I didn't know when I was looking around at them is that they've sold more than 150 million records worldwide. They are the best-selling American hard rock band of all time.
They've been around for a long time. As a matter of fact, with me bringing up Alice Cooper and you,
Yeah.
Aerosmith,
Yeah.
I mean, we have some people with longevity going.
Longevity. I mean, 5 decades you're talking about. I mean, a
Yeah.
really long
Yeah.
time.
Well, the same with Alice Cooper too.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
did to be able to still do what you're famous for that
Yeah.
long, and still at an incredible level. I mean, you're talking about Alice Cooper and Steven Tyler. You are using your body, your voice. It's not like you're playing a piano.
Yeah.
That's your voice that
Yeah.
you've been using for the last 5 decades. That's
Right.
an incredible achievement,
For sure.
you know? So that's my A band that I
Okay.
love.
So our letter A edition of our favorites.
Mhm.
How about movie?
Ooh, that's a good one. I would say my favorite A movie is The Avengers, the first Avengers movie, when they're
Well,
all first
You're
coming
into the
together.
superhero thing.
I
Yeah.
do. I love
Yeah.
the superheroes.
Yeah.
I love them, even when I was a kid, before we actually had live action superhero movies, I loved action movies in general. And superhero movies are action movies. They're just done
Right.
really big. And so, yeah, definitely the Avengers. Plus, I love Robert Downey Jr., and he is just awesome as Iron Man. So, the Avengers, I have to say.
The best. The
Yeah.
best.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, my A favorite movie I'm going to bring up is something I haven't seen forever.
Hmm.
And I was thinking I've got to maybe do a search to see if I can get it off the stick.
Mhm.
Arthur. Remember with
Oh, yes.
Dudley Moore and Liza Minnelli? Oh my
Yes.
God, I haven't seen that in such a long time. And I was trying to think of what A movies, I came
Uh-huh.
up with a couple. Came
Yeah.
up with like Anchorman and Air Force One. And I'm like, yeah, no.
Yeah.
But Arthur, I mean, that was just so funny during that time that,
Oh my gosh.
a rich drunk. It
I mean,
was just,
he's not just a rich drunk though. Like, I don't think anybody can play that as endearingly as Dudley
oh,
Moore.
no, not
You
at
know?
all. Not at all.
He under any other circumstances, I would be like, ugh. But he pulled
You
that
mean that
off.
kind of story? Oh yeah, he
Yeah.
definitely pulled that
Yeah.
off.
It's like,
for
you want me
sure.
to like you? You're drunk all the time? You gotta be kidding me. Dudley Moore
So-
made it happen. But
Yeah.
I thought you were gonna go like Annie Hall.
Really?
Yeah, and you went to complete opposite end of the spectrum with Arthur.
Yeah, you know what? I always tend to go comedy.
Yeah.
So my two things for a movie is either comedy or a sports kind of movie.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but usually comedy. I mean, my favorite movie is Young Frankenstein.
I know it is.
Of all time. That's number one.
Yeah.
Number one.
Yeah. I mean, that's a good one. All right. So after favorite movies, what's your favorite TV show that starts with an A?
And this is something I really had to think about, but I want to just throw this one out because I also want to shock you a little bit.
Okay.
Okay. So with the A theme, I went with Alf.
Alf.
You remember Alf?
Yes. I had an Alf doll when I was a
we
kid.
had an Alf mask.
Oh my God. Oh my Lord.
he was hysterical. Alien life form. That was the
Yeah.
acronym.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you remember his name? That was something that I was like,
It
oh,
was like
it was
Gordon something,
it was
right?
Gordon Shumway. How they ever came up with this stuff, I have no idea.
Well, they
But
took that show seriously too. Like that wasn't really like it
just
wasn't a
all fun and
satire.
games.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
They had themes and everything on that
Oh,
show.
but he just harassed that family. I mean, it was it was just to the Tanner family.
Yeah. Didn't he have something crazy going on in the closet? Didn't he have like a spaceship or something in the closet?
Well,
I
didn't he
can't
always
remember.
hide in the closet? They
Yeah,
had
I
to
still
hide when
can't
somebody
remember.
came. It was like, go.
Alf. She picks Alf. Oh my goodness.
I know.
Well, I did not pick something like that. I picked All in the Family. Actually.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah. Carol O'Connor reminded me a lot of my grandfather, not Archie's personality or anything, but his manner. Having the favorite chair, the beer, the paper all the
Sure.
time.
Sure.
And
Well, they were about the same age, right?
yeah, I would say very much so. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the whole show had a very East Coast feel to it, so it was real familiar to me. And that was
And this is your grandfather on your mother's side, not on your father's side, who
Yes,
would happen to be
correct.
my
Yes.
father. Okay, so that's
Yes.
what I'm saying.
Yeah. And there was the first time I was ever exposed to satire. I didn't know what that was a thing before then, and I just
Right.
thought it was brilliantly done, because even I remember being as a kid not understanding everything that was happening, but knowing that it was smart and funny and that it was something cool.
Well,
Plus-
you pretty
plus-
much
plus-
saw it on reruns, is what you
Oh
did.
yeah.
Yeah.
But they played it all the time
Yeah.
when I was a kid, and
Well, when you were a little kid, that's when they started the reruns,
yeah,
because
but
yeah,
I'm
the
talking.
show
I was
went into the
probably
70s.
like 11 or 12 years old when I really started watching it.
Oh, okay. So that
you
was
know,
yeah.
and remembering the episodes and the
Yeah,
things
so
that they were
that's
talking
definitely
about.
the reruns. Sure.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm I'm only 44.
Well, we
don't age
watched
me
it.
up.
We watched it on Channel 2. When it was every week.
Yeah. Plus,
Yeah.
plus, I loved the theme song.
Oh
you
my
know.
God, Edith.
Oh my God, those were the days.
Gene
It's just so
Stapleton,
good.
yeah. Yeah.
So that was my A program. What about actors? Favorite actor?
I think I'm picking things to try to shock you.
That's all right.
Okay, so my favorite A actor, probably one. I'm going to say one of my favorite. Okay,
All right.
I'm going to throw in the ring Adam Sandler.
He's a good one. I can get behind him.
I thought so. I mean, of course, Happy Gilmore is like my favorite.
Classic. Yeah.
I liked him in 50 First Dates.
Mhm.
That's another favorite movie of mine. And Billy Madison and
Mhm.
Wedding Singer and all
Wedding
the
Singer.
Water Boy. Remember
Oh,
the
yeah.
Water Boy?
Yeah, Water Boy. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I thought of like Al Pacino and Alan Alda. I like them
Yeah.
very much.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just wanted to give you a little
Adam
shock
Sandler.
with Adam
Well,
Sandler.
I can get behind him. Sometimes I have a little bit of a problem with him when he retreads that old ground. How many times can you do the pea stain jokes and the
well,
barf jokes and stuff
I
like
guess
that?
he goes back to his SNL days,
Yeah, I mean, speaking of that, Hanukkah song, that's awesome.
Exactly.
I can get behind him. He does a lot of good stuff.
Yeah.
I'm all right with that.
Yeah. He's
But
a good guy.
Mine is a little bit more serious. Actually, a favorite of mine is Alan Rickman.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, I love Alan Rickman.
I just saw Galaxy Quest the other day.
Oh, that's a favorite. That's an absolute favorite. Absolutely. But the first time I saw him was as Hans Gruber in Die Hard.
Oh, yeah.
That was my first exposure to him, and I was like, oh, he's so scary. But
Hans.
yes. I mean, classic movie too, Die Hard.
Yeah.
But
Classic classic Christmas movie.
Yeah, yippee-ki-yay.
Yippee-ki-yay.
I said that all the time. Uh, Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, though, was the one where I actually fell in love with him when he was the sheriff of Nottingham, because he was such a villain. He was so terrible, but he was also just so funny. And ever since then, anything that he's in, I think he's just impeccable. Love him.
Yeah.
Love him. Love
Yeah.
him.
Yeah. Are you going to say that saying from Galaxy Quest?
No, I'm not.
No?
No. No.
Don't
no,
say it.
No,
don't say it.
No.
I'm not going to say it.
No. Maybe at the end.
Okay, did you come up with an actress?
I did, in fact, I did. Amy Adams. I love Amy Adams.
I do too.
I
do too. She was actually on my list because she did one of my favorite movies was Trouble with the Curve with Clint Eastwood and Justin Timberlake.
Yeah.
One of my favorite movies.
Actually,
yeah.
The first movie I saw her in was a Disney movie, Enchanted.
She's done some good stuff.
Yeah, she has.
Yeah.
And what I find interesting about her is that she often picks characters that I typically would not like to play. And she's able to do them in a way where it's either endearing or I can sympathize with that character. She's just able to pull off these things where typically I'd want to smack them. And she does it really good. Like, I'm so impressed by her. And I also really love her version of Lois Lane in Man of Steel and the Justice League movies. I like that she plays her smart. I like that she plays her in the know. And I finally have respect for Lois Lane, because I never did before. Like, you can't figure out that your boyfriend's Superman and Clark Kent
doesn't look like Clark Kent. I mean, come on, you work with him all day. Hello.
Yeah. Is the glasses and the cape really the thing that, you're a top-notch investigative reporter and you can't figure this one out? So finally, I can respect Lois Lane. Thank you very much, Amy Adams. Yeah. What about you?
Okay, for favorite actress. I'm going with Christina Applegate. So I'm going with the last name on this one.
Okay. I can see that.
Yep. Well, me and comedies, starting with Kelly Bundy, I loved Married with Children. That was, oh my God. I still, there's a station, I don't remember what station, but you can just do a marathon of Married with Children all day. I mean, I can't do that many, but still.
I remember that episode where Al said he couldn't sleep without Peggy's knees in his back or something like that. It's just like summed up the show for me,
But I also liked her in The Rocker. Remember that movie, The Rock? Did you ever see that one?
I don't think I ever saw that movie.
It's a really good movie.
Is it old?
I'm gonna say, yeah, it is. It's old.
Okay.
It's old, but
yeah,
really good. And of course, you saw her in Anchorman. You've seen Anchorman, right?
Oh yeah, so many times.
Okay.
Stay classy, San Diego.
Yeah, she was good in that too.
So,
she's Christina Applegate.
Yeah, she's in this TV show, Dead to Me, that I do want to see, but that's one that I have to do all in one weekend, like watch the whole thing. So oftentimes I'll wait until a show is finished so I can just watch the whole thing, because I'm terrible with having to wait between seasons and stuff.
Right. The Rocker was 2008. And you know who Rainn Wilson is?
Yeah, of course I do.
Yeah. He was the drummer. Emma Stone was in it too. She was the bass player.
And Christina Applegate.
Yeah. Yes, he was. Very quickly he was. Yes. It was a quick part for him. I think that was his first part.
And I found out the reason why it was so quick was because he was doing a pilot for a show that didn't get picked up, but it was an absolutely terrible pilot. But he could only do it. Yeah, he had to hurry up, or he would have had a bigger part because they really liked him.
How about that? So, and Christina Applegate was the mother of the singer.
Okay.
So, Yeah, it's a good one. It's a good one if you get a chance to watch. It's funny.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
So what do you say?
I think that wraps it up.
I I I think we've definitely covered a whole bunch of A's.
We did cover a whole bunch of A's, and we kept it pretty clean too.
Well, yeah, considering it was the letter A.
Oh
I
my
mean,
goodness.
we could have thrown away some.
We could have done a lot with an A.
I know. We appreciate you listening. With that, we're out of here.
Thank you. See you next week.